Water is life, but in Africa, it is the threshold of the divine. Across this vast continent, rivers are not merely geographical features but the pulsing veins of ancient gods. Imagine a time when an entire empire survivor rested on the whims of a spirit dwelling beneath the rapids. From the Nile's eternal flow to the Niger's mystical depths, these waters have birthed kings and buried invaders. Today, we journey through the 10 sacred rivers that forged the African soul. For thousands of years, the great civilizations of Africa were not defined by borders on a map, but by the water that sustained them. These rivers provided food, transport, and protection, but they also offered something far more profound, a connection to the afterlife. In every ripple and current, there is a story of a god, a hero, or a tragedy. We explore how these sacred waters shape the continent's identity, making Africa the true cradle of human civilization. We begin with the Nile, the longest river in the world and the undisputed backbone of Egypt and Sudan. To the ancient inhabitants, the Nile was not just a river, it was the god Hapi, the bringer of fertility. Every year, the river's predictable flooding deposited rich, black silt, transforming the desert into a garden. This natural miracle allowed for the surplus of food that fueled the construction of the pyramids and the rise of the mighty pharaohs. But the Nile's sacredness extended far beyond agriculture. It was believed to be the passage between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. All major Egyptian tombs and pyramids were built on the west bank, the side of the setting sun. The river was a mirror of the Milky Way, a celestial map guiding souls to eternity. Without the Nile, the grandeur of ancient Egypt would have been lost to the shifting sands of time. In West Africa, the river Niger serves as the spiritual and commercial heart of Nigeria and Mali. For the people of Nigeria, the Niger is more than a waterway, it is a living entity inhabited by powerful spirits like Mami Wata. This mysterious deity is said to guard the secrets of the deep, offering wealth or madness to those who encounter her. The river's confluence with the Benue remains a site of immense spiritual significance and ancient ritual power. The Niger River facilitated the rise of the great West African empires, from the Songhai to the Kanambonu. It was the highway of the Sahara, where gold, salt, and knowledge were traded in exchange for the river's bounty. The water provided a natural defense and a reliable source of hydration in an often harsh climate. Today, the Niger remains the lifeblood of millions, its banks still echoing with the chants of traditional ceremonies that honor the ancient water spirits. Deep in the heart of the Democratic Republic of Congo flows the Congo River, the deepest river on earth. Its churning rapids and immense volume have long inspired awe and fear. For the Luba and Lunda peoples, the river was the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds. The roar of the Inga Falls was believed to be the voice of ancestors, warning the living of their duties. It is a river that demands respect and absolute sacrifice. The Congo River's basin is a labyrinth of life, supporting civilizations that flourished in total harmony with the forest. The river was the primary means of communication, allowing for the spread of Bantu languages and ironworking technology across the continent. Its power was so immense that it remained largely unmapped by outsiders for centuries, protected by the very spirits that the locals worshipped. Even today, the Congo remains a wild, untamed frontier of spiritual energy and mystery. In southern Africa, the Zambezi River flows through Zambia and Zimbabwe, home to the legendary Nyami Nyami spirit. This river god, depicted as a creature with the body of a snake and the head of a fish, is the protector of the Tonga people. When the Kariba Dam was built, many locals believed the frequent floods and disasters were caused by the Nyami Nyami's anger at being separated from his wife by the concrete walls of the dam. The Zambezi's most famous feature is Mosi-oa-Tunya, or the smoke that thunders. These massive waterfalls were a place of pilgrimage and prayer for centuries before any Europeans set eyes on them. The mist rising from the falls was seen as a bridge to the heavens, where the voices of gods could be heard in the thunder of the water. The river provided the foundation for the prosperity of the Lozi Kingdom and the spiritual identity of Zimbabwe. The Niger River takes another sacred form in Mali, where the inland delta creates a lush paradise in the middle of the Sahel. This was the heart of the Mali Empire, the richest state in the world under Manso Musa. The river allowed for the cultivation of rice and the growth of Timbuktu as a center of Islamic learning. To the Dogon and Bamana people, the river's fish and seasonal floods were gifts from the creator deity. Life in the Mali Empire was inextricably linked to the Niger's seasonal pulse. Great fleets of canoes carried gold from the south and salt from the north, creating a level of wealth that is still legendary today. The river was a sanctuary for scholars and traders alike, a peaceful artery through a harsh desert. The sacred relationship between the Malian people and the Niger is still celebrated today in festivals like the Bozo people's ritual fishing events. In the highlands of Ethiopia, the Blue Nile begins its journey at Gish Abe, a spring considered holy by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. For centuries, this source was kept secret, guarded by monks who believed the water had the power to heal the sick and wash away sins. The Blue Nile flows into Lake Tana, where ancient island monasteries house the treasures of the Solomonic dynasty. It is a river of deep faith and historical mystery. The Blue Nile provides nearly 80% of the water that eventually reaches Egypt, making Ethiopia the water tower of Africa. The river carves through massive canyons, creating a landscape that is as beautiful as it is daunting. Historically, the river's power was used to protect the kingdom from invasion, acting as a natural moat. For the Ethiopian people, the Blue Nile is a symbol of national pride and a direct link to their ancient, biblical heritage. The Senegal River forms the border between Senegal and Mauritania and was the center of the Jollof Empire. For the Wolof people, the river was a source of spiritual cleansing and the primary route for the spread of Islam in the region. Its banks are lined with ancient burial mounds and sacred sites that predate modern religion. The river's steady flow provided the stability needed for a complex society to grow and trade with the outside world. During the height of the Jollof Empire, the Senegal River was a strategic asset, used to transport horses and textiles across the region. The river was seen as a gift from the spirits of the earth, and its waters were used in coronation rituals for the kings. Even during times of conflict, the river remained a neutral space where communities could come together for trade. It is a river that has witnessed the birth of Senegalese culture and identity. In Ghana, the Volta River and its tributaries like the PRA are sacred to the Asante and other Akan groups. These rivers are believed to be the home of powerful abusum or spirits that serve the supreme creator. The gold-rich sounds of these rivers were seen as the property of the gods, and mining was often governed by strict spiritual laws to avoid offending the water spirits. The river was a partner in the empire's immense wealth. The Volta River's importance is celebrated in the annual festivals where chiefs are carried in palanquins to the water's edge to offer sacrifices. These rituals ensure the continued protection of the people and the fertility of the land. The river acted as a natural barrier against enemies, helping the Asante maintain their sovereignty for centuries. Today, even with modern dams, the spiritual connection to the Volta remains a vital part of the Ghanaian soul and national heritage. The Orange River, known as the Gerep or Great River by the San and Koko people, is the longest in South Africa. In an arid landscape, this river was a miracle, a winding oasis that allowed for life in the desert. The San people carved intricate petroglyphs into the rocks along its banks, recording their spiritual visions and their deep connection to the water. To them, the river was a living spirit that dictated their survival. For centuries, the Orange River was a place of refuge and a site of intense spiritual focus. It allowed for the migration of peoples across the southern tip of Africa, providing a reliable source of water and fish. The river's canyons and waterfalls, like Ogrebis, were seen as dwellings for powerful entities that control the rain. Even in the face of colonial expansion, the Gerep remained a symbol of indigenous resistance and a sacred lifeline for the desert-dwelling tribes. Kenya's Tana River is the longest in the country, providing life to the dry coastal plains. For the Pokomo and Kikuyu people, the river is a sacred gift from the mountains. Its seasonal floods are essential for agriculture, and its forests are home to spirits that protect the community. The river was a vital link between the interior of East Africa and the Swahili coast, allowing for a rich exchange of cultures, ideas, and sacred traditions. The Tana River's delta is a complex ecosystem where the freshwater meets the Indian Ocean. This confluence was seen as a site of immense power, where different spiritual worlds collided. The river sustained the rise of coastal city-states, providing the resources needed for global trade in ivory and spices. The legends of the Tana tell of great serpents that live in the mangroves, guarding the entrance to the land and ensuring the prosperity of the people who honor them. As we have seen, the sacred rivers of Africa are much more than just sources of irrigation or hydroelectric power. They are the keepers of memory and the guardians of cultural heritage. From the northern reaches of the Nile to the southern bends of the Orange River, the water remains a constant witness to the evolution of man. These rivers are the lifeblood of a continent that continues to draw strength from its ancient and mystical environmental foundations. These 10 rivers are the silver threads that sew the fabric of African history together. They have witnessed the rise of emperors, the arrival of colonizers, and the enduring resilience of the human spirit. Today, as their waters continue to flow, they remind us that civilization is not just built on land, but on the sacred currents of the past. The spirits of the water still speak, if only we are willing to stand on the banks and listen.